Thanks for having us today. So we will be entertaining you for the next 30 minutes or so about how we at the Lego Group make the developer experience click into place. But before we get into that, you see that you get 2 for the price of 1 today. So we would just want to introduce ourselves first. So my name is Jonas Drodal Rask, and I'm actually a master brick picker. That's one of my hidden talents. So I can spot all of the rare bricks in a pile of Lego bricks. So when I'm not busy doing that, I'm the engineering director for developer experience. I like to describe myself as kind of an opposite of a werewolf. So every full moon, I turn into this ordinary guy where I have a wife and I have 3 kids and a little house, and I live in Copenhagen. And then the rest of the time, I'm this creature that is obsessed with the developer experience and about how we can actually broaden that out into the organization and create some good experiences for our engineers and developers.
Yeah.
And I'm here with the...
Yeah, so my name is Waqas Ali, and I am also a master brick picker. I can also spot rare bricks and make stuff out of it. And when I'm not doing that, I work as a lead engineer in the Lego Group. And other than that, I live with my family, my wife, 2 kids in Copenhagen. And today, I'm going to talk about what we do at the Lego Group.
And just to give you a little overview, a lot of the things we'll be talking about today is based on our learnings throughout the years of working with developer experience. We will start with the data, the foundation that we have, and how that is key to driving good developer experience. Then we'll deep dive into our adoption of Spotify Backstage, which we call Baseplate, and talk a little bit about how that helps our developers. Then we will talk about how we are using plugins to actually crowdsource the contributions to the platforms that we have. And then in the end, how we go and use data to measure our success and make our decisions more data-driven. So first, a bold claim. So we need data to power good developer experiences. And we'll come back to why we need that. But first, I will let Waqas introduce our digital volunteer of the day, we can call it.
Yeah, her name is Emma. Emma is a software engineer who has joined the company. And Emma's goals is to, of course, as a new person, new engineer, understand the organization. It's a product-led, product-based organization. Also discovering the APIs that she can use for doing her job. And also create and update documentation in the future. But all of this also there are some challenges. So Emma also has some challenges. Being new at the company, she would like to understand how the company operates, how is the structure for the organization, and then she also needs to find the right tools to do their job. Of course, she works with the team, so she would like to identify other teams that she can possibly work with, or other teams that are maybe sitting together close to her team. So we will be looking at Emma's journey throughout this presentation. Back to you, Jonas.
Thank you. So what I will do now is I will take you through actually a real-world example that we have seen play out in a few different flavors, not only at the Lego Group, but also other enterprises. So what you see here is how we are organized in the Lego Group. We have a list of domains that contain streamlined teams. And then you see at the end of the slide here, we have 2 verticals. So that's 2 separate domains, one for platforms and one for enablers. And within each of these domains, we have a list of digital products that we are building. So everything in the Lego Group is a digital product in this matrix organization. Each digital product is staffed by a long-standing DevOps team that is responsible for the development of that particular product. And we have Emma here joining one of these digital product teams. So Emma, she is now tasked with taking part of this product to the cloud and begin the cloud journey for this product. So she needs to figure out how that is done. So first, Emma, she looks around and she finds some colleagues that might know who to talk to. She's lucky, so this group of people down here, they actually know that there's an enablers team over here called Cloud Enablement. So what Emma does is she makes contact to this team and starts talking about her ambitions to bring this product to the cloud. So they talk back and forth. There's some emails, there's some information requested that she needs to fill out. And then finally, after a week or so, Emma gets access to a cloud account. So that is not the best developer experience, even though you can call it a developer experience, of course. So what are the challenges here? So we have something about discoverability. So it's not easy for Emma to figure out where to actually go. And we have seen tons of examples of this, where you need to know someone who knows where to go in order to get the things done. Another thing is the lack of automation. So when you find the right people, you actually don't have any kind of automation. That means you have a very long lead time on the task that you are trying to achieve here. And then one thing that is not immediately obvious is the lack of ownership. So in this case, in our real-world example, the cloud account would actually be tied to Emma as an individual. And just to show you some of the problems we have with that. So let's say Emma has now been working on this product team for a while, and she actually would like to see if the grass is greener on the other side. So she decides to move to another digital product down here with those guys. The problem here is when she moves, she also moves with all of the cloud resources. And we have, you can see, all of the chaos that this is creating when people are moving about in the business and they're pulling all of the resources and IT assets and so on with them. Some of them even leave the company. God forbid. So this is one of the problems that we'll be talking about how we solve today with data. So our solution to this is, first of all, a canonical data model. So we have introduced a model that spans across the Lego group and captures our whole technology landscape. It's important in this model that we capture the right entities that will allow us to do this discoverability, this discovery of the different resources and IT assets. That's important for developers and engineers. Then another thing that's also important, to power the automation efforts that we want to do, you need to be able to interact with the different entities that we have in this model. So in the case of a cloud account, you need to be able to provision cloud accounts. You need to be able to manage them and also get information out of them. For example, what is the cost across all cloud accounts on this product would be an interesting question to answer. And then the last thing is ownership. So each entity in this model needs to be governed by what we call a local data owner. So a product team that actually takes responsibility for this. In our case, it would be the cloud enablement team who would own, you say, the definition of the cloud entity, and they have the responsibility to map that into a product. Yes, and you can see with this web that we are creating here with the canonical data model, we will be able to answer a lot of questions and create a lot of discoverability while maintaining the ownership. So one thing is a canonical data model that works fine if you stay in the enterprise architect domain. But if you want to use it for something real, you also need to make it available. So we are democratizing access to all of the data within the model by API enabling it. So, and I'll just want to talk a little more about that because that's also super interesting. So, yes, enter the super graph. So we actually got some inspiration from what Netflix is doing and Volvo is doing with their super graphs. So essentially, what a super graph is, it's a GraphQL API that uses schema federation to actually bind together one common schema. So you have one entry point where people can take all of the data from the underlying graphs. We built this around a knowledge graph that is built around the triplets with you have a subject, you have an object, and a predicate. So you can do some quite elaborate and meaningful relations in this model. So here we, for example, have an employee that can have multiple different relations to a product. One could be that it's a developer, another could be that it's a lead engineer for this particular product. And then I mentioned the local data owners, how each of these entities will then be managed by a local data owner. So how it works is that we, at the top, we have what we call the composition layer. So that's where we provide the entry point. And then underneath, we have a bunch of subgraphs. So each subgraph provides an entity or exposes an entity that we have in our canonical data model. It provides a schema that is valid only for that entity. And then there's this guardrail that every entity must map to a product, either directly or indirectly. So we have this traceability back to a product always. And the last thing is that it's built and managed by one of the local data owners. Yes, and now I will hand over to Vikas, and he will talk a little bit about how we use the data that we have built up here to power developer experiences.
Oh, thank you. So now you have seen a little bit about this supergraph thing. I will tell you how one of the ways we are utilizing it. And here, what I'm showing you is something we call Baseplate. So if you're a Lego fan, Baseplate is that thing that you build on top. That's our developer platform. That's built on top of Spotify's Backstage. And what we are doing with this is we are taking data from the subgraph and showing it onto our platform in form of products. So all the products that we have are exposed by the subgraph, and we're taking it and showing it here. And not only that, we also get people that work in a specific product, so we also show that. We also have other things like applications or other ownerships, APIs, documentation, you name it. It's all connected to the product, not with people. And what happens is then you get a holistic view. When you go into a product, you find, okay, what this product is about. So the view that we are showing to our users that came into existence after experimentation, and we tried other things, we failed. Then we tried some other things, we failed. And then we tried this, and this one worked pretty good. We have a domain view, we have subdomains, and under that we have products. And then under the products, you can have everything, all the ownership. So the product, let's call it the product page, becomes a window into the product. So you can go to any product and see who works there, what this product owns, what kind of assets this product contains. And that's available to everybody, all the engineers. So before I go ahead, I want to discuss, okay, let's get back to Emma. Imagine that she got a new task, which involves her to work with other teams. That means she would like to find out if are there any APIs that she could utilize to do her job, or if there's any documentation that she can read, or if she can work with some other teams So she's figuring that out. She's that new person in the company who's figuring that out. What can she do to make her life easier if their other teams are doing similar things? So first thing, she finds out that, okay, I need to have an API. So what she does, she goes to Baseplate, and here you can see API page, an example of an API page that is she can find in Baseplate, our developer platform, where she can connect to that API, she can find information about that API, and she can also find the owner of that API in form of a product team. So she has access to all of the APIs that are in production. So she can find and choose the API and get connected to it automatically. She don't have to talk to anybody. Then she also interested in finding about people. So she can also find people to work with. If she finds a product team, she can look who is working on this product team right from Baseplate, and then she can go and connect with them, of course, and collaborate. It also could be that she needs to read some documentation. So we have a documentation page, a dedicated documentation page that is providing, we're trying to expose all of the developer documentation we have at one place. And so far it's working pretty good. So you can go to that page and then you can find the documentation that you want. And not only that, you also find who wrote it. And you can, of course, if you are courageous, you can also edit it and create a pull request to that team as well. And this is a screenshot of what it looks like. So you can find all the documentations you have in the company. Then imagine if Emma needs to create documentation, she can also do that from Baseplate. We are providing something called software templates. So if you know Backstage, they have a concept of software templates. And we are utilizing those. We created a custom template after talking to our teams. And then we created this template as a result to help them get started quickly. So anybody can go and create their own template and get up and running in a couple of minutes. So they don't have to talk to us to do this. They can do it themselves. So let's talk about some value gains for all of this. First of all, we are after we did, we exposed these developer documentations. We are getting more than 60,000 hits on the documentation every month, which I think is pretty good. That means that people are utilizing the platform. People are coming back to the documentation, and they're reading different documentation. And we are also tracking these numbers in different ways. I'll talk about that later. Also, the APIs. So if a person like Emma can find APIs throughout the organization, that means there's a bunch of different APIs from different teams. And currently, we have more than 400 APIs rolled out, and anybody can take a look at them, connect to them, and this self-service experience really helps our engineers to do their job. Next thing I want to talk about is plugins, the plugin model we have. In Spotify's Backstage, there is this plugin model that they have created, so you can extend the functionality by adding plugins. And we have leveraged that, added some, let's say, protein on top. I don't like sugar, so a little bit protein, and enhanced that model, and created this plugin template. So back to the software template thing that Spotify is providing. So we've created this plugin template for the teams. They can go and create a plugin using this template. It's also a self-service experience for the teams. And what we also noticed that when we started all of this, we also got a lot of questions from the teams that they don't know the technology, they don't know how it works. They are working on some other technology, maybe Python or something, and this Backstage is TypeScript. So what we did in the start was we helped them. So we started these hackathon style development, where we went into a room for 2 days with the team, developed something in a hackathon style, whatever they wanted. Of course, there was a lot of work before that we had to do with the team, and that really helped the team to jump to the platform and put their features. So we have a lot of teams that have added or contributed towards Baseplate in this way. And an example of that, just one example, is cloud. So what happens that when example before from Jonas was that Emma was working with some team, and they needed a cloud account, and on average it was like 3 days, and that's real. It took about 3 days to get a cloud account. So what we did, we sat down with the cloud team and created this plugin with them, helping them put that new feature, and then now it's a self-service experience in Baseplate where anybody can go and do it themselves. So from 3 days, the time is lowered to maybe a couple of minutes. And not only that, we also added a couple of more capabilities. Like we also added some FinOps capabilities. So if you're a person who is interested in the cost of the cloud, you can go there and look at that. We also added, you can create an account and get a lot of other information that was not visible before. So what this provided us is remove the ownership of the account from people and attach that to a product. So that means the person, if they move around the organization, no problem, because the thing, whatever that is, the artifact stays with the product. And this is just one of the graphs I just copied here, which shows cost of cloud, but there's more to it. So value gains from this is tremendous. A lot of time saved for creating cloud accounts. People are doing it themselves, and we have numbers show that people really liked it, and they're working with it actively. And this whole connected, integrated experience that we are providing is also removing this cognitive load from our engineers, that they don't have to, ask someone and find the information themselves, or find the API, or find the cloud account, or if something is going down, find the owner of that thing. So this cloud account is just a cloud plugin is just one example. We have more things that we have added. I don't have the time to go through it, but most important thing I would like to spend some time on in the end is adoption. So how do we measure success of the platform? We look at some numbers, of course, as everybody else, and we have different ways to get those numbers out. And we are getting these numbers, looking at these numbers every day, and we are making decisions based on these numbers. For example, how many users we have on the platform on X number of days, weeks, months, how many hits we get on the documentation, on which documentation, how many hits we get. So if someone comes to me and asks me which is the most popular documentation we have, I can tell you. How many products are using your platform? We can also answer that. It's true, 92%. So Baseplate is being used by 92% of the products. That means they're finding value in it, and they're using it. For Cloud Account, the example that I gave you, we are getting 400 hits every month. So people are utilizing it. One of the other ways that we look at this and make decisions is looking at heat maps. This is just one heat map. These are huge because we have a lot of products to look into. So I've tried to simplify it. Here you can see we have on the vertical axis, we have domains. And on horizontal axis, we have plugins. So you can see it's a documentation plugin, APIs plugin, cloud plugin. And I have different heat maps that I don't have the time to show, but I can make them on page level, or feature level, or plugin level, and also domain level, or subdomain level, or product level as well. So what happens here is that you can see domain 1 is utilizing the documentation a lot in this example. So what I will do is I will look, if this is, I will drill down, I'll find the domain who is least using the platform. And then I will go to the product, I will filter that domain, and then I'll see all the products. And then I will reach out to the products who I think should be using the platform, but they're not using. So I will tell them maybe they don't know that something exists. So I will proactively reach out to them. Or maybe the platform is not good enough for them. So then we can change something. So we ask them to give us feedback. And if we find something that we can fix, then we change it. And another way that we fix things is look at the user journeys. So this is just one example of the journeys that we look. Let's say a user comes into the system and goes to the products page, goes to whatever product, goes to the cloud account in AWS and creates a new account. And then suddenly we see the journey ends. The final account creation thing did not happen. And if it happens again and again, then that's a pattern. And if we see that pattern, then something is wrong. So then we reach out to the users and ask for feedback, of course. And if we find something, if there's a bug in the system, then we fix it, of course. Or if maybe there's something missing, then we add it. So this is one of the ways we are looking at things that are happening on the platform. Of course, feedback is a very central part of our platform. We are getting feedback in different ways. We are talking to people directly a lot. We are hosting community sessions in the company, so people can come in, anybody can join, ask questions, and we show, inspired by Backstage itself. And we also have, of course, channels that people can reach out like anybody else. And also we have something called context-based feedback as well, where people can provide feedback on the specific thing or the specific feature from within Baseplate. So they can go into, if you're looking at cloud, let's say, and you're on the cloud account list page, and you see something wrong, you can provide feedback for that specific page, and that feedback will go directly to the team who owns that. So in this case, if you're providing a feedback for the cloud, it will go to the cloud teams, right? So we will see it, but we are connecting our users with the engineers who are responsible for the platform as well. Yeah, and with that, I am done. Thank you so much for listening. Please
Thank you.
connect.
Yes.